All right, coming to your next favorite chapter, that is your General Clauses Act 1897. I know what you go through when you read this chapter, but you cannot hate it. Trust me, you cannot afford to hate it. The weightage, as I told you, is 10 marks. I agree it's a little troublesome, but boss, छोटू सा act है, and it is still gonna give you 10 marks. So इतना तो कर सकते हैं यार 10 marks के लिए. It's totally worth it. First, some people don't even know what is this act about. Whenever you start up with any act, two things: applicability and introduction date. It was introduced on 11th of March 1897. But wait, before I go on to this whole thing, what I want to tell you is this. What is this act about, boss? It's a general rules and regulation. See, Contract Act covered contract, Companies Act covered companies, your negotiable covered only negotiable instruments. But it is not covering anything. This General Clauses Act is not covering anything specifically. It's just telling you what are the general rules and regulations. If I take a simple example, let's say there was one madam, let's say Miss X. She was going on a scooty. मैडम ने सिग्नल तोड़ा. मैडम ने यहाँ देखा वहां देखा, कोई था नहीं, इसलिए मैडम ने सिग्नल तोड़ा. Somewhere out of the bushes the policeman appears. So he asked for fine. मैडम ने बोला I will not give you. पुलिस वाला बोलता है क्यों? तो बोलती है I am not liable to pay you any penalty. Police wala is like, why? You have broken law, madam. You are supposed to pay fine. She's like, you know what? I've read law. Police wala bolta hai, haan to. She's like, in that law it is mentioned, if he breaks signal, he will be paying the penalty. So I'm not liable to pay. Police wala bolta hai, kuch bhi. But actually, even though you think this is stupid, but she's actually right. Because if you see in all the laws in our country, they've covered only masculine genders, he, him, etc. That does not mean females will be excused. We don't want to get excused also, but still, they have covered this point in this section in this act, that masculine genders will include the feminine genders. Means he shall include she. मतलब जहां पे भी he है, it is assumed that it is also covering she. Similarly, singular will include plural and vice versa. अब ये पॉइंट हर एक्ट में थोड़ी ही स्लैश शी, हिम हर लिखेंगे तो एक्ट बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा. सो एवरी एक्ट देव रिटन ही एंड हिम. एक एक्ट में जनरली बोल दिया है ही विल इंक्लूड शी. सो इट्स अ जनरल क्लॉजेस एक्ट. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So the object of this law is to shorten the language, because in this case you will not write he slash she everywhere or singular plural everywhere. Second object is to give uniformity of language. See, again, it's a very stupid example which you have seen in movies. अच्छा. The word अच्छा means good. लेकिन इसको हम कितने अलग तरीके से इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं. अच्छा, अच्छा, अच्छा. सो द वन वर्ड कैन बी इंटरप्रेटेड इन मल्टीपल वेज, बट इस एक्ट में बोला है इसका मतलब यही है, फुल स्टॉप. यू कैन नॉट एक्सप्रेस इट इन सम अदर वे. सो इट गिव्स यू यूनिफॉर्मिटी इन एक्सप्रेशंस ऑफ एक्सप्रेशंस. And since all general rules are covered here, all general definitions are covered. As you all know, all laws do not cover all definitions, ना? मेन definitions covered होते हैं. Income tax बोल दो या Indian Contract Act बोल दो. But in this act, they have covered all general definitions. So if some word is not defined in some act, you will follow the definition given in General Clauses Act. So this law, General Clauses Act, it's kind of a dictionary for other laws. मतलब जनरल रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस इस एक्ट में आपके आएंगे. सिंस इट इज काइंड ऑफ अ डिक्शनरी फॉर अदर लॉज, इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज लॉ ऑफ ऑल द लॉज. दिस इज नोन एज लॉ ऑफ ऑल द लॉज. So shortened language, uniformity of expression, and law of all the laws. Another example, if I take aviation rules, plane rules. अगर डिस्टेंस दिया है 2100 किलोमीटर, तो ये जो मेजर हुआ है ये एक पॉइंट से दूसरे पॉइंट तक मेजर हुआ है स्ट्रेट लाइन में, ऐसे ऐसे मेजर नहीं हुआ है. ये भी कवर किया है कि जहां पे भी हम डिस्टेंस देते हैं वो स्ट्रेट लाइन होता है हॉरिजॉन्टल में. कोई बोलेगा मैम ये तो पता है. अरे बच्चा, यू कैन नॉट अज्यूम एवरीवन इन दिस कंट्री हैज ब्रेन्स, नो. अगर किसी ने खोपड़ी ऐसे चलाई तो कहीं भलता पहुंच जाएगा वो. So clarification is given here. Then another examples, let's say excise duty में दिया है 100 kg के ऊपर excise is let's say 10,000 and you are buying 1000 kg, therefore it's going to be 1 lakh. See, ये फिगर दिया नहीं है एक्ट में, सिर्फ क्योंकि every quantity will not be given ना, 100 kg, 101 kg, 102. Just because ये quantity नहीं दिया एक्ट में, that does not mean you will not pay duty. You will pay proportionate duty. That is what is given in this act. So general rules and regulations pertaining to all other laws are given in this law. But socho 1897, matlab someone has used brains in 1897 regarding this. सोचो how much he might have thought. कोई बोलेगा मैम कौन है ये आदमी यार? This fellow's name was Lord Brougham. And in 1850 he decided कि यार one general law should be made. So he started making this law. But he was successful, and finally in 1868 the first General Clauses Act came out, which was on 3rd of Jan 1868. But not all laws and not all rules were put in that, because dhire dhire more rules were added. Then the next General Clauses Act came in 1887. Yes, precisely 14th of Jan 1887. And finally the latest one, that is General Clauses Act 1897 was made, which was now 11th of March 1897. Ma'am, why are you telling us this history? Because this history will be used in some sections. So it is very important for you to know this. This is one thing which I want you to know. And the second thing is this. Again, here also students get confused. Who makes laws in our country? I told you some time back. You said Parliament. You are right. Parliament कब बना? Never mind. 1950 में, when the Constitution was made. So 1950 में the Parliament was made. So after 1950, whatever laws are made by Parliament. I have not told anything new. You already knew this. We got independence in 1947. 1947 tak laws were made by Britishers. But what about this period? 3 years. Who made laws? Some will say, ma'am, law ही नहीं बना. Shut up, law बना था. In fact, our law is made. Chartered Accountants Act 1949 is made. So someone made it. And who was that someone? Laws were made by someone known as Dominion Legislature. They were kind of parliament, but I cannot call them parliament literally because parliament was not defined. See, normally when I say laws are made by parliament, the approval is given by the president. So here whatever the laws are made, the approval is given by president. But यहाँ पे president के जगह पे there was one term, Governor General used to give the approval or assents. So this is what you have to remember, because these words are also going to be used in some sections. So till 1947 Britishers, now we are not concerned. वो 3 साल में Dominion Legislature, Governor General, and after that Parliament, President. Yes. Now let us understand what is this. Second thing which I was gonna ask you, introduction date to 11th March, but where it is applicable, whole of India including or excluding, I can't say, because this act is not applicable to a situation. This act is applicable to other acts. Wherever that act is applicable, this act is also applicable. So this act does not define any territorial extent. मतलब इधर नहीं दिया है कि whole of India है, क्या है, कैसा है. This is applicable wherever other act is applicable. So 11th of March 1897, the act does not define any territorial extent. It is applicable to all territories wherever the Central Act is applicable. Object is to shorten the language, uniformity of expression, law of all the laws. Definitions. You know, all the definitions are normally given in section 2. Sometimes section 3. कोई बोलेगा मैम ये ऐसा कौन सा एक्ट है जहाँ पे सेक्शन 3 में डेफिनेशन दिया है, यही वाला. But you will refer to definitions of this act only if your own act is silent. So if contract is already defined in Contract Act, you will not follow this act, you will follow that act. So definitions are defined in the act itself. But if there are words which are not defined in the definitions, meaning of such words will be taken from General Clauses Act. Means and includes, we already took this. Company means a company incorporated in this act or previous law. In our language, it is known as exhaustive definition. And debenture includes debenture, stock, bonds, or any other thing. This is an inclusive definition. We also covered shall and may. Shall is commendatory, may is not mandatory. But sometimes it can be mandatory. A company may be formed for lawful purpose. I took this example. Here may will be read as shall. Preliminary. First point तो ठीक है. So preliminary is normally introduction. What is the extent, commencement, कब introduce हुआ, etc. Now, coming to definitions. Now, there's one thing which students ask me, ma'am, are we supposed to remember all definitions? To be honest, bacha, if you see the definitions, they are not so difficult. So, let's take the first one. Act means any offense or civil. Act means doing something wala act, not your law wala act. So, here the word act means doing something. So, acts. Now, there are three words which I want you to know: swear, oath, affidavit. Swear, everyone knows. I swear, yaar, I swear. Normally in law, how do they write? I swear in the name of God. So basically in your language, swear means kasam. Oath. In your language, shapat. An affidavit is a declaration on a stamp paper. Suppose court को proof चाहिए कि Mansi stays at this place with these people. तो Mansi stamp paper पे लिखेगी. I, Mansi, hereby declare that I stay at so and so premises with following people. First one, so and so husband. Second one, so and so mother, and so on. That means affidavit is kind of a declaration which is used as evidence in the court. It's a written statement confirmed and used as evidence. Now, when I use the word Central Act, there are two laws: Central Acts, State Acts. State Acts is obviously applicable to the respective state. But यहाँ पे see क्या दिया है? Central Act is Act of Parliament and includes Dominion Legislature and passed by Governor General. मतलब this covers all the laws which happened between 1947, 1950 and even after 1950. That is the reason I told you about this. Central government. इसमें तुम लोगों को बहुत confusion है. But if you read ना, central government means anything which is before commencement of constitution, मतलब governor general. After commencement of constitution, मतलब president. So A point covers 1947 to 1950 and B point covers after 1950. Commencement means to start, that is coming into force. Document, it is same as interpretation of statutes. I told you na, means, record, substance, matter. So you don't have to worry about this. Statute means I told you act, matlab law, General Clauses Act and so on. Chartered's financial year is 1st April to 31st March. No, 1st day of April to last day of March. Difference I am not reading. Good faith. Anything which is done honestly, whether negligently or not. But let's say some act defines good faith, then you will not refer to this definition. So that definition given in the particular act is to be followed. When I just use the word government, it will include central and state. Government securities means securities of central government or state government. Immovable property, land, benefits arising out of land, that is standing trees. Which are standing trees are immovable assets. Once you cut them, then they will become movable assets. लेकिन तब तक तो immovable है. Things attached to earth, permanently fastened to earth. Buildings, bungalows, they are all immovable properties. Imprisonment, jail. See, they are just saying कि we have not defined. Indian Penal Code के हिसाब से जो definition है वो आएगा. Indian law means anything which is passed in India. Now, when I use the word month, हिंदूज का मंथ अलग होता है, इस्लाम में मंथ अलग होता है. हिंदूज में अश्विन, भाद्रपद, ये सब मंथ्स है, बट हम वो नहीं फॉलो करते. हम ब्रिटिशर्स का मंथ फॉलो करते हैं, जैन, फरवरी, मार्च एक्सेट्रा. इसलिए दिवाली कभी सेम डेट पे नहीं आती है, लेकिन क्रिसमस हमेशा सेम डेट पे आता है, बिकॉज वी फॉलो ब्रिटिशर्स का कैलेंडर. मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी मीन्स एवरीथिंग विच इज नॉट इमूवेबल. ठीक है. ओथ, अभी बोला शपथ. Offense means doing something wrong, that is, I can say a crime. Official Gazette, it's a magazine issued by government. But दोनों government issue करती है. Government of India, this magazine is issued by CG and this is issued by state government. Person, company, association, body of individual. But see, Income Tax Act में already person is defined. So you will not refer to this. You will refer that definition in Income Tax Act. अब next definitions are very simple. Registered means registered in India. Rule means rule given in that act. Schedule means schedule. Section means section. Subsection means subsection. Swear, कसम. मैंने तुम लोग को बोला swear, oath, affidavit, तीनों बोला, but note में लिखा है they all have same definitions. Welcome to Indian laws. Writing will include printing, lithography, photography, सब आएगा. And बच्चा again year is Britisher का year, not Hindus का. So many definitions. Trust me, you don't have all definitions. There are lot of definitions, only these many are there. We have covered all the definitions given in the module, so don't worry. Now this section 4 and 4a is read and leave category. But I'll just tell you, if you read, all these definitions which I explained you ना, ये part में आते गए. Like some definitions were in 1868, then more were added, then more 1887, and then 1897, and so on. Now the problem here is, what if some laws are made in this period? So which definitions are applicable? Or in this period, which definitions are applicable, and so on. So application of terms to all laws made after 3rd Jan to anything even after 14 Jan. These words, affidavit से लेके year तक, these definitions are applicable for all laws made after 3rd Jan 1868, including 14 Jan 1887. बस याद रखना है, these words are just applicable to these laws which are made from this date. And these laws, commencement से लेके writing तक, for laws made after 14 Jan 1887. And these are applicable to all laws. Clear? Okay. Now coming to general rules of construction. Very simple. Indian Contract Act was introduced on 1st September. but President gave its approval on 25th of April. See, 1st September you know because it's given. But in all laws, maybe introduction date might not be given. So you will follow, if introduction date is not given, you will follow the date on which the President has given the approval. So if no date of commencement is specified, it will be implemented from the date on which it received assent from Governor General for those acts which were made 1947 से 50 तक, and this is President after 1950. Now, Section 6, 6A, 7 and 8 are important. Especially Section 6 is very important and so many students get confused here. First, they fail to understand what is repeal. अब ध्यान से सुनो. To be honest with you, ये पूरे chapter में the difficult part is only that much. All these are very simple. छोटू act है. See, Section 4, be with me. Section 6, repeal. First, you understand what is repeal. Repeal means cancelling something. It's gone. Repeal means obliterating something, means making it disappear. But there is a difference between repeal and deletion. When I say something is repealed, it's gone as if it never existed in your life. But when I say today something is deleted, matlab till today it existed, उसके बाद it doesn't. See, दोनों में end में exist नहीं करता है, but repeal में it is as good as it never existed. And deletion में it existed till that date, but after that date it doesn't exist. Example, Companies Act 1956 is repealed. Yes, so it is repealed. But I am asking you, Companies Act 1956 के हिसाब से Mr. X was appointed as a managing director. His managerial remuneration, जो भी है उसका remuneration fees, वो सब calculate हो गया था पुराने एक्ट के हिसाब से. या तो फिर किसी जज ने पुराने एक्ट के हिसाब से जजमेंट पास किया था उस टाइम पे, या some inquiry was set up, some penalty was announced as per the old act. Just because that old act is gone, that will not affect the appointment of that managing director. That will not affect the remuneration of that managing director. That will not affect any judgment passed or penalty announced or any inquiry done. So they are just saying it's repealed, but it will not affect anything because of that. So see, the repeal shall not revive anything, that is bring back anything. See, just because Companies Act के हिसाब से let's say किसी को punishment announce हुई है, imprisonment of 10 years, अब वो act चला गया, does that mean वो बंदा जेल से बाहर आ जाएगा? नहीं. It will not bring back anything. It will not affect any prior management. It will not affect any claim, privilege, responsibility or any punishment, forfeiture or penalty or any inquiry. Basically, whatever I am telling you, simple में revive or you can say repeal will not affect anything. See, when it is repeal, it must be considered as if it never existed. Object of repeal is to obliterate the act, means make it disappear. Now there is a difference. Repeal is in distinction with deletion. Repeal brings complete obliteration as if it never existed, while deletion ordinarily takes effect from the date. So repeal कभी था ही नहीं, deletion अब तक था, इसके बाद नहीं था. Section 6A, if you read, if any act or repeals any enactment by which the text was amended by express omission, insertion, it's little given in a complicated way. I'll just tell you one thing. Example, SEBI Act में Section 202 एग्जाम्पल ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट 1956 का रेफरेंस दिया था. अब दिस इज तो गॉन. डज दैट मीन सेबी इज ऑल्सो गॉन? नो, सेबी विल स्टिल रिमेन. That means if there is any reference given to a section or an act which is repealed, just because that act is repealed or section is repealed, that does not mean this act is also repealed. वो वैसा ही रहेगा. That is 6A. Ab revival means coming back. Everyone knows na Companies Act has come back. See, when an act is repealed and if it is revived, either it may be with modification or without modification. Obviously Companies Act 1956 वापस आया, Companies Act 2013 बन के with modifications. तो पब्लिक बोलेगी क्या टाइम पास चल रहा है तुम लोग का, पहले रिपील करते हो फिर वापस लाते हो. यू रिपील देन यू ब्रिंग बैक, यू रिपील देन यू ब्रिंग बैक. हम जानना चाहते हैं ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो आप. That means if any act is repealed but it is revived, you need to mention the purpose for which it is to be revived. There has to be some reason, right? So you need to specify the purpose. Now, construction of references to repealed enactments. If I just tell you in simple words, Companies Act 1956 has been repealed and revived with modification. Companies Act 2013 बन के आया. It is as good as a new act for you. So it will be treated as a new act. And secondly, just because you give reference, for example, in some act, you gave a reference of some section of Companies Act 1956. अब भी एक्ट कुछ बना हो जिसमें पुराने इसका कुछ रेफरेंस दिया, that does not mean you're bringing back that law. It's just a reference given. So don't get annoyed. I will just repeat this. Section 6, effect of repeal. Answer is technically no effect. Repeal means cancellation as if it never existed. Deletion means it existed till that date, उसके बाद नहीं. Repeal हो गया, it will not bring back anything, affect any penalty, inquiry, anything. Section 6A says if any reference is given and if that section is repealed, that will not affect the whole act. Third says if any act is repealed but if it comes back, you need to mention the purpose. And fourth, if it comes back with or without modification, it will be treated as new. These are your 4 sections. Section 9 we already finished in Negotiable Instruments Act. If I say 31st October, you have to pay dividend within 30 days. So your calculation will start from 1st. मतलब your answer will be 30th November. मतलब this date will be excluded and the last date will be included. 18 July my hearing was there. उस दिन बहुत बारिश हुई, बंद हो गया कोर्ट, सब बंद करके घर बैठे थे. So tell me, now my proceeding is not going to happen on that day. When will it happen? Next day, whenever the court is open. That's your section 10. So if it's going to take place on a particular day and if it is closed on that date, it will be conducted on the next day whenever it is open. Section 11 हमने उड़ा दिया. That when I tell you to calculate distance, it will be in the straight line. So this is okay, but this is not okay. Horizontal straight line. This also we finished, that you have to take proportionately. 100 kg per duty is 10,000. So 1000 kg पे तुम लोग करते हो ना, how much? So that is 1 lakh. So you will take the proportionate amount. Section 13 also we finished. Masculine will include the feminine and singular will include plural and vice versa. Coming to powers and functionaries. Now if you do checking, not much is left. I'm telling you, Income Tax Act gave power to Income Tax Commissioner that you can appoint income tax assessment officers. ये power उसको दिया है. So tell me, when will that commissioner appoint these officers? Whenever need arises. रोज थोड़ी appoint करेंगे. Only when the occasion requires, need arises, you will appoint him. So that's what. If any power is given to you by law, then this power will be exercised time to time as and when the occasion requires. अच्छा, अगर इनकम टैक्स कमिश्नर के पास पावर है टू अपॉइंट द इनकम टैक्स असेसमेंट ऑफिसर, ही हैज implied पावर टू सस्पेंड दैट ऑफिसर और डिसमिस दैट ऑफिसर. So power to appoint will also include power to suspend or dismiss. ये तो कॉमन सेंस है. जिस पर्सन के पास पावर है अपॉइंट करने का, उसके पास इम्प्लाइड पावर है, उस बंदे को वो सस्पेंड या डिसमिस भी कर सकता है. देन सेक्शन 15. This is again where students go wrong. Power to appoint may includes power to appoint ex officio. What is ex officio? Most of the students have answered me. Ex officio means officer who was there in the past. Just because something is ex, that does not mean every time it has to be the past. It is something else. Ex officio is you get one post because of another post you hold. Ex officio is you get one post because of another post you hold. Simple example, let me just write it here. Every company, as per Companies Acts, says every company should have a chairman in annual general meeting. हर एक annual general meeting का chairman होना चाहिए. By default, if nothing is given, the chairman of the board of directors will become the chairman of that meeting. If Mansi is the chairman of board of directors, I automatically will become a chairman of that meeting. Matlab, I am getting that post because of this post which I hold. So chairman of board of directors automatically becomes the chairman of the meeting. That means he is appointed ex officio. मतलब इधर मैं आई इसलिए मैं उधर गई. अब जिसके पास पावर है चेयरमैन ऑफ बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को अपॉइंट करने का, उसके पास इंप्लाइड पावर है, वो चेयरमैन ऑफ मीटिंग भी अपॉइंट कर सकता है. आई विल रिपीट. Someone has a power to appoint chairman of board of directors. He has an implied power that he can appoint chairman of the meeting. Because if I am a chairman of board of directors, I will automatically become the chairman of the meeting. So power to appoint will also include power to appoint ex officio. Ex officio is a Latin term. It means by virtue of one's position or office. Now, substitution of functionaries. Very simple. There was one document on which a chairman was to sign. Okay. But chairman available नहीं था. तो मैंने मतलब वाइस चेयरमैन ने साइन किया इस डॉक्यूमेंट पे. बट इफ वाइस चेयरमैन इज साइनिंग सब्स्टिट्यूटिंग द चेयरमैन, तो मुझे ब्रैकेट में लिखना पड़ेगा दैट आई एम वाइस चेयरमैन. अदरवाइज पब्लिक विल थिंक दैट आई एम द चेयरमैन. So if I am substituting some officer, I need to mention my official title. Who am I? So that official title of the officer should be mentioned. And one more thing, I replaced whom in this? Chairman. So whatever rules were applicable for chairman, now same rules will be applicable for me also, because I am substituting this guy. This is any law which is applicable to that superior will apply to the subordinates who are performing the duties of that office in place of that superior. Conclusion. एक और बार I'll repeat very slowly. If I replace someone and I sign as someone, I have to mention my official title to make it clear to the public कि मैं वो नहीं हूँ जो आप चाहते थे, मैं कोई और हूँ. And secondly, if I replace him, whatever law is applicable to him, the same law is applicable to me. Successors. In case of corporations having perpetual succession, the law of successor should be specified. Everyone knows company enjoys perpetual succession. Means if in company कोई मर गया, it doesn't matter. एक गया दूसरा आ जाएगा. But in one person company, if you remember, only one person, I was the member. अगर मैं मर गई तो technically तो company को बंद होना चाहिए. But you will say, नहीं ma'am, company will not be closed. The nominee will take your place. Exactly. How do you know this? Because nominee provision is given in law. तो लॉ सिंपल चीज बोलता है, यू वांट परपेचुअल सक्सेशन ना, यू वांट दिस टू कंटिन्यू फॉर एवर ना, तो यू प्लीज स्पेसिफाई व्हाट विल हैपन इफ द पर्सन डाइज. नहीं तो ये अटक जाएगा. अगर नॉमिनी का कंसेप्ट मैं कंपनीज एक्ट से निकाल दूं So you are clueless what will happen if I die. So if you want to enjoy perpetual succession, the law of successors should be specified in that law. That is your section 18. Are you clear with this? Yes. Now, Companies Act 2013. Company has been defined as a company incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or any other previous law. ठीक है. Let's say अभी Companies Act का amendment आया है and you people are really angry with those amendments of RTP, but जो भी आप amendment पढ़ते हो उसमें अगर company ये word आता है तो उसका meaning क्या लोगे? Same. Company is a company incorporated under Companies Act 2013 or any other previous law. मतलब जो मीनिंग उस वर्ड का एक्ट में है सेम मीनिंग विल बी देयर इन द नोटिफिकेशन एंड अमेंडमेंट आल्सो. दैट्स योर सेक्शन 20. Any expression used in the notification etc will have the same meaning whatever act specifies. Then you told me who makes laws? Parliament. So parliament में those people who have that authority to make laws. Common sense use करो बच्चा. Any person who has authority to make laws, he has implied authority to change the laws also or to cancel the laws also. So power to issue will also include the power to add, amend or rescind these laws. Section 22. Making of rules or bylaws and issuing orders between passing and commencement. Now this again, I've heard many doubts in this. Students get confused. I'll just tell you in simple words. एकदम ध्यान से. Indian Contract Act 1872. Intro date is 1st September 1872. But passing date as in assent wala date. President gave its assent or the person gave its assent on 25th of April 1872. मतलब they were good like 4 months in between, right? मतलब पास होने में और कमेंस होने के बीच में कुछ गैप था. Now in this period, what if some particular notification या some rule or regulation is made? Now these rules will not have any effect till the act commences. एक तो सबसे पहली बात, you should not have made this notifications in that period. अगर बना भी लिया, this section clarifies कि इसका effect तब होगा जब ये act introduce होगा. जाहिर सी बात है क्योंकि act is not yet introduced and you made something. Question in your mind, but मैम ऐसा कोई क्यों करेगा? I am not saying do this. I am covering the possibility ना बच्चा, हुआ तो. So if there is any rules or bylaws made or orders passed between passing and commencement, it will not take force, it will not take effect till the act commences. That is 1st September के बाद ही इसका effect आएगा. That's your section 22. Section 23. It's very simple. Yes, we discuss parliament makes laws, but there is a team who sits. They made laws. Let's say 10 people are sitting and they made some laws. But whatever law you have made ना, it is on from the point of view of those only 10 people. अब इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ भी हो सकता है, कुछ ऐसा भी हो सकता है जो उन्होंने कवर नहीं किया या सोचा नहीं. So law says directly this is not an act. You make these rules, you make a draft, rough, एक draft बनाओ, and you publish it. And you tell this public that we are publishing it. So make a draft, publish it, give a notice that we have published it. You have problems, you come now. ऐसा वो authority बोलेगी. So in that case, the authority is going to invite objections and suggestions. That please, if you have any problems, you tell us now. After considering those objections and suggestions, they are going to make the laws and they are finally going to put this in official gazette, which is a proof that ये act बन गया. I'll repeat, it's very simple. Authority will make a draft, upload it or publish it. After publishing it, give a notice that we published it. And once that is done, invite objections, suggestions. Consider that if you want, then make some changes, and finally you make the law and publish it in the official gazette. So see, 5 points are covered. Authority will publish the draft of those proposed rules. Publication will be in the manner जो government को ठीक लगे. Notice also shall be published with the draft. Okay. So make draft, publish it, give a notice, invite objection, suggestion, consider it, and then finally make it a law. That is your section 23. Now, continuation of orders issued under acts repealed and reenacted. Companies Act 1956, when it was existent, some order was passed. Act is repealed. Order will still continue. Now, it has been revived or reenacted as 2013. This order will still continue. That means the orders which are passed under an acts which are repealed and reenacted, it will still continue. That's it. Now miscellaneous, the last part. Recovery of fines. See, SEBI Act or Companies Act, whatever you have seen, you will see huge amount of penalties like 10 crores, 15 crores and so on. So let's say some penalty of 10 crores is put. मेरे पे ही penalty लगा है. And I make an innocent face and say, मेरे पास तो पैसा नहीं है. कैसे लोगे? So obviously government is not going to leave me. Government is going to recover those fines from me. So how? There will be a process to recover the fines. What is that process is not given in this act. They are just saying it will be the process given in Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code. So how to recover fines? These sections of IPC and Code of Criminal Procedure shall apply to all fines. Means there is no separate procedure given in this act. Then if I commit some offense, if I commit a crime, which is a crime as per two laws, so I will not be sued twice. I will not be penalized twice. I will be punished only once. So if there is an offense, if an act or omission constitutes an offense under two or more acts, then the offender will be liable to be prosecuted, matlab sued, and punished under either of those acts, but not punished twice for the same offense. Simple. Then so many times you people have studied serve it by post, post, post. But कैसे? तीन चीजें बहुत simple है. When I say send it by post, सबसे पहले write proper address. Second, after writing proper address, you prepay it. मतलब पहले से पैसा दे दो. That means the sender should pay money. There should not be a situation where receiver has to pay money. And third, send it by registered post. I'll repeat. Write proper address, prepay, and then registered post. But you will follow this meaning of service by post only if some act is silent. But if act is specifying that you follow this, then you will not follow this section. You will follow the respective act ka section. That is meaning of service by post. Then citation of enactments. Again, this is where students get confused. They go wrong. Citation means quoting something or giving reference to something. Example. Companies Act 2013. They've written everything. Sometimes they'll put a symbol and niche they will draw the same symbol and they will write it is as per section 20 subsection 2 clause 1 of SEBI Act. Example. Once you write this, you are giving a reference. वो जो तुम लोग टेक्स्ट बुक में भी करते हो, टेक्स्ट बुक के एक पेज पे लिखते हो रेफर पेज सो एंड सो, you are citing it. उसको लीगल लैंग्वेज में साइटिंग बोलते हैं, अपने लैंग्वेज में गिविंग अ रेफरेंस बोलते हैं. So tell me, just because I've referred one section of SEBI Act, that does not mean whole SEBI Act will come. Only this section, word by word, line by line, वो भी यही वाला point आएगा. So they are clarifying the whole act will not come, only that particular part will come. So cited by reference or title, you can write citation means quoting or giving a reference. Then saving for previous acts, rules and bylaws. Example, I made an Excel sheet. मैंने A लिखा, सेव किया. I opened it next day, मुझे A मिलेगा. B लिखा, सेव किया. नेक्स्ट डे ए बी मिलेगा. C लिखा, सेव किया, and so on. मतलब the moment I start adding something, the old things are saved. सेव होता जाता है और नया ऐड होता जाता है. Same thing happens for law. So if there is any amendment which is coming, the old laws are saved and this is added. So saving for previous laws, rules and bylaws. And this application of act is also to ordinances. Most of the people don't know what is an ordinance. Okay, I'll tell you, when I talk about act, act is passed by parliament. Parliament doesn't sit throughout the year. Maybe they sit for 60-90 days. अब वो जो बाकी के डेज है जब पार्लियामेंट नहीं है, what if they want to make laws? You cannot call parliament there. So in this particular case, how will you make laws? So in absence of parliament, there will be a temporary authority who is going to make laws. And when they make laws, it is known as an ordinance. It is known as an ordinance which will be valid for maybe 6 to 7 months. Yes, and once the parliament comes back, they approve it. So they are just clarifying whatever rules I've told you in General Clauses Act. They are applicable not only to acts, but they are also applicable to these ordinances. That is your section 30. And if you see, we have covered each and every section given in the module right now. Yes, including all the definitions. So with this, we finish General Clauses Act and the other laws also get over. Thank you very much. All the very best. My good wishes and blessings to you all, and see you all in final CA. Bye-bye.